Whether you're an employee, you're a salesperson. Whether you're a marketer, you're a salesperson. Whether you're a husband, you're a salesperson. Whether you're a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you're a salesperson. Whether you're a mechanic, you're a salesperson. Whether you're an organizer. Two months ago, I contacted I downloaded a strategy, a organizer business strategy. That if I were to be broke, if I implement that strategy, I will send all the organizers out of business. A salesperson. A salesperson is someone who has something to sell. That's the simplest definition of a salesperson. Now, in real estate, branding is very, very important. Because real estate is a high-ticket industry. You can make just 3 sales in a year and you're okay. That's the beauty of real estate. But you see, you're not going to make those sales if you are deploying roadside agent strategy or attitude. Roadside agent attitude. The salesperson is someone who has something to sell. Now, our area of focus here, number one, is becoming a true salesperson. Becoming a true salesperson. Number two is sales simplification. I like to simplify everything. I even like to simplify mystery. If anybody is attaching mystery to something, once I identify what that mystery is, I will break it down to that person. And once I'm done with that person, the person will no longer think that thing is mysterious. So sales simplification. The third thing is the psychology of salesmanship. The psychology of salesmanship. The fourth thing is branding in salesmanship. Branding in salesmanship. The importance of branding. Too important. And the final area of focus is daily routines of a salesperson. Daily routines of a salesperson. But this thing was clearer than this the last time. What's happening? Okay, becoming a true salesperson. The first thing we need to look at is, as a salesperson, you have to register it in your consciousness that sales has the power to transform your life. Sales. You have to become aware of the transformative power of sales. And how do you become acquainted or aware of that transformative power? Is by hearing the personal stories of people who have used sales to transform their lives. People you can relate with. Not fables, not cock and bull stories. Some people will write a book and they'll be lying in the book. Author. Something that never happened. And they will even publish that book on Amazon. Published lies. You have to find out people who are actually doing something, whose lives have been transformed on the back of sales. Because until you do that, you are not going to evolve into a true salesperson. Because you don't have anything to relate with. I've met a lot of realtors who are no longer realtors. They have dropped out. They've dropped out of realtorship. Maybe for some of them, they were making real estate their side business. No problem. That's why you drop out. For some of them, they didn't have any person who was doing well as a realtor who they could relate with. Maybe their age mates, maybe somebody that they've known for a while. So at the end of the day, they said, I beg, nothing there for this real estate, I beg. Because they were not able to hack it. They were not able to figure out how to marshal salesmanship. So that's the very first thing. Okay, I think it's clear now, right? Yeah. So that's the very first thing. You need to know the transformative power of selling. You need to know. See, there is this subtle programming. This subtle programming that we inherited because we went to school. Because, see, conventional schooling only programs you for white collar or blue collar job. Most courses that you study in school never prepares you for selling. It only programs you for a white collar or blue collar job, where you sit down in an office, there's AC blowing on your head. So, and then there'll be papers that you sign. So, conventional schooling paints the picture of salespeople as dropouts. Maybe people who dropped out, and those are people that should be salespeople. So even though you are in sales, you are still carrying about that subtle programming. And for as long as you have that subtle programming, you are never going to achieve uncommon results as a salesperson. Meaning that you have to uninstall that program. You have to proactively uninstall that programming. And one of the ways you do that uninstallation is by hanging out with salespeople who are making 7-figure, 8-figure, 9-figure income. When I say 7-figure, the least 7-figure is 1 million naira. The highest 7-figure is 9,999,999 naira. The least 10-figure is 10 million naira. The highest 10-figure income is 99,999,999 naira. The least 9-figure is 100 million naira. The least 10-figure is 1 billion naira. Question: the people you hang out with, do they make 7-figure income? Do they make 8-figure income? If they don't, it's one of the reasons why you can be contemplating. I don't even try this related. Maybe I don't try something else again. So the second important thing, as far as the requirement for becoming a true salesperson is concerned, is your personal hunger and drive to upgrade the quality of your life. Do you know that 60% of all the dollars that is currently in circulation anywhere in the world was printed in the last 3 years? 60% of all the dollars in circulation all over the world right now was printed since COVID. Meaning that all the money that was ever printed before all the dollars that was ever printed before 2020, only constitute 40% of the current dollars in circulation. So if anybody is saying, Sapa, they worry me, it's because of the world you are living in. You are living in the world of Sapa, surrounded by Sapasians. So you have to have personal hunger and drive to upgrade the quality of your life. Without hunger, forget it. Without hunger, forget it. you are not going to wake up with strategies. The third important thing is you get acquainted with the psychology of selling. Psychology of selling is what constitutes 80% requirement of sales success. If you are in sales and you are carrying about a poverty mindset, you are never going to achieve uncommon success. Because your mindset is a guaranteed success sabotage. You know, when people hear mindset, they're going to talk this mindset thing again, no problem. If you're that kind of person who have that kind of attitude to mindset, let's see the uncommon results you perform. They're not that mindset again. Okay. You will know that mindset is money. Mindset is wealth. There are two types of infrastructure that powers mindset: the poverty infrastructure and the wealth infrastructure. The infrastructure of poverty has to do with your environment and the quality of people that you have in that environment. Environment is destiny. So if you are living in an environment that the vast majority of the people living in that environment, if you are living in a poverty environment, what's the definition of a poverty environment? At least 80% of those living in that environment are poor. If you live in that environment, you are poor as well. The infrastructure of poverty, the environment, environmental infrastructure, and the people. What mindset? 80% of the people living in your neighborhood, what kind of mindset are they carrying? Also, a neighborhood, a wealthy neighborhood, is a neighborhood that has at least 80% wealthy people. The fourth important thing is knowing the tools of the craft. Knowing the tools of the craft of salesmanship. I highlighted some things here. We'll talk about the tools of the craft of salesmanship in real estate. I talk about product knowledge. Please be writing them down. Product knowledge. Knowing the tools of the craft. Product knowledge. Your set goal. I already did the mathematics of goal setting. I already introduced us to the mathematics of goal setting. Your goal. Number two. Your vision board. How many of us have designed our vision board? You've designed your vision board. Can I see your hand? Let me tell you something about knowledge. Knowledge is useless if it is not put to use. It is useless. I don't care if the knowledge is from Harvard. If it is not put to use, forget it. It's not going to transform you. The transformative power of knowledge is in its implementation. Product knowledge, number 1. Your set goal, number 2. Vision board, number 3. Action board, number 4. Your weekly schedule, number 5. Your daily to-do list, number 6. Your contact list, number 7. Your sales calling phone. The phone you dedicate for making sales calls. A salesperson who doesn't make sales calls is deluding himself or herself. If I ask you, how many sales calls did you make last month? Anybody? How many sales calls did you make last month? Anybody should answer. I mean, it's a room packed full of salespeople. How did you say you're a salesperson? You should have made a lot of sales calls. How many sales calls did you make last month? Anybody should answer. Go ahead. 12. Okay, so if you did June is 30 days, right? So 30 divided by 12 is less than 1 per day. Who else? 30, that's like 1 per day. Who else? How many sales calls did you make last month? Or do we even know what it means to make sales calls? Do we know what sales calls is? I'm assuming we all do. We know what sales calls is, right? If you are a salesperson and you are not making sales calls, you are not a salesperson. The three most important instruments of salesmanship: the contact list, sales calling, and appointment setting. These are the core of salesmanship. If you don't have a contact list, you've heard the statement, the money is in the list. I'm sure you've heard it before, or you've not heard it. The money is in the list. It's in the list you have. Contact list, sales calling, appointment setting. The holy trinity of salesmanship. The next important tool is your smartphone, followed by social media. Social media is a tool. I don't care if Facebook is $1 trillion company, it is still a tool. You find people attach emotions to social media. It is a tool. Nothing but a tool. It's like a farmer attaching emotion to a hoe or to his tractor. It's a tool. Nothing but a tool. But a lot of people use social media only for leisure, only for entertainment. You want to go and watch the comedy skits. The very social media that people are using to generate 8 figures, 9 figures per year in dollars, $100 million, $10 million. The very social media. So social media is the next important tool. Video conferencing app. Video conferencing app. Like Zoom, Google Meet, Google Hangouts. Because a lot of your prospects will come from the diaspora. The diaspora remits over 50 billion dollars per annum. Nigerians in the diaspora. You should focus. Of course, you are not only supposed to focus on diasporans, right? But a major focus should be the diaspora. They are making the money in hard currency. How much is $5,000? That's somebody's salary in a month abroad. Convert it to Naira. They say £1 is now 1,000 Naira. Convert it to Naira. $5,000 to Naira. That's about maybe 4 million Naira. If the person is doing initial deposit of 2 million per month, still have 2 million Naira there. So video conferencing app is for scheduling appointments with those in the diaspora, or those who might be in Nigeria, but you are not in the same physical location. So Zoom. The next important tool, like I said last week, is your dress sense. Your dress sense is a tool. It is not luxury to look good as a real estate consultant. It is a necessity. It's a tool. It's a tool of engagement. In a luxury industry like real estate, looking good is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It's a tool. Your dress sense. Public speaking skill is another important tool. Public speaking skill. The ethics of communication. A lot of people have lost deals because they could not communicate effectively. Everybody should take a course on public speaking. Everybody. The moment you are speaking to anybody outside of your household, it is public speaking. It is not just when they invite you to come and speak in a conference or whatever, where you have to stand on the podium to now address everybody. The moment you step out of your home, that is public speaking. Public speaking skill is one of the tools. Listening skill. Listening skill. A lot of people don't know how to listen. If they are engaging in a conversation, they're not listening, they're thinking of what next to say. When merely listening to that person will give you the data that you're going to use to converse with that person, to have a robust conversation with that person, to have a meaningful conversation with that person. Listening skill. The next important tool is conversational skill. Let me tell you something. Salesmanship is nothing but looking for who to have a conversation with. It's as good as before going to bed tonight, you're like, okay, who am I going to have sales conversation with tomorrow? And then I wake up the next day and I'm like, okay, who am I going to have conversation with today? That is salesmanship. So when we talk about prospecting, when we talk about advertising, when we talk about marketing, when we talk about selling, when we talk about closing, it all borders on conversation. Meaning that you should develop your conversational skill. You should know the hierarchy of conversation. Where do I start from? The conversation tempo. You need to warm up that conversation. You will not put C before A. Conversational skill. The next important tool is content marketing skill. Content marketing skill. When we talk about conversations, what are we talking about? Is it not content? You want to have a conversation with someone. Is it not content? It is. Content marketing skill has to be developed. The truth of the matter is, salesmanship is the most transformative profession in the world. But you see, it is not easy to become a high-performing salesperson. There are certain requirements. But you see, once you get your hands on those requirements and you implement them into your persona, into your personality, and you actually become a salesperson. Nah. Let them be complaining about the economy. You will not complain. You are a salesman. Somalia, they say Somalia is the poorest country in the world, right? There are rich people in Somalia. So content and marketing skill. Then the next important tool is appointment setting skill. A salesperson is an appointment setter. I told you the three core instruments of salesmanship. Your list, contact list, sales calling, and appointment setting. You have to get good at setting appointments. No day should pass without you setting at least 2 to 5 appointments. Appointment setting. You can either set the appointment virtually, which is the essence of the video conferencing apps, or it is a physical appointment. Then socio-economic networks. Socio-economic networks. I talked about it last week. Ikoyi Club, Lion Club, Rotary Club. I said something when we were talking about the mathematics of goal setting. You can be setting these goals, this million goals, and you only have 2,000 naira in your bank account. It does not matter. So don't say, to become a member of Ikoyi Club, It's 1 million naira. Where am I going to get 1 million naira from? Don't do that to yourself. Otherwise, you will never become a salesperson. Because 1 million naira can be a tiny fraction of your commission from one sale. So don't do that to yourself. Don't operate your life from the standpoint of scarcity. When life is a cornucopia of resources. So socioeconomic networks is also one of the important tools of your craft. And finally, self-care. Self-care. If you're not proactive about taking care of yourself, you are going to break down. I'm sure you've heard people, they just say, the person just slumped and he died. Young man, 40-something years old. Most especially if you live in Lagos. You have to be proactive about self-care. It's a tool. Very, very important. Now, as part of the requirements for becoming a true salesperson, you have to strive to become an authority in your industry. I've only been in real estate 4 years. A lot of people know me. When I first came, I was struggling. Even though I was a digital entrepreneur for like 7 years before I came into real estate. When I came into real estate, I struggled. But you see, from the very beginning, I knew that I have to put things in place to become a recognized authority. Many people have called me before, right? Who knows me personally? But because a Realtor came to introduce a product to them, they have to confirm from me because they have seen it as an authority in real estate. They have to confirm from me first. Becoming an authority is an intentional thing. You will give yourself a target. Within the next 2 years, I want to be known in the industry. Within the next 5 years, I want to be known as this in the industry. And then you set sail. See, visibility is currency. Visibility is currency. And if nobody, when I meet young people who say, I'm my own boss, I'm an entrepreneur, the first question I ask them is, who knows you? Who knows you as an entrepreneur? Who knows you? That's number one question. Number two question is, when was the last time you made good money? Mr. Entrepreneur, Mrs. Entrepreneur, when was the last time you made 1 million naira? So you must be, every single day you are working on something, some aspect of your brand. You know, when we talk about authority, we're talking about branding. Then the next important tool is product knowledge mastery. See, if you don't know your products, to the point where you can convince yourself to buy that product, you will never sell that product. Product knowledge mastery is too important. See, when we talk about content marketing, see, your knowledge of your product is part of the content you're going to use for content marketing. You can't say that, oh, I know that product. What do you know about that product? Bring out a sheet of paper and write everything you know about that product to test your own product knowledge. You see, per time, you are always mastering product knowledge. You are always getting mastery. You are always extracting new data. There should be new information you know about that product. And when we say that product, it's not just exclusive to that product. It could be the surrounding of that product. The new information we're talking about is not just exclusive to that product. It's not just exclusive to that estate. It could be that they just opened a massive supermarket 2 minutes drive from that product. That's part of the product knowledge mastery we're talking about. It could be the latest developments in that estate. So product knowledge mastery is part of the requirement for becoming a true salesperson. When we talk about you having a conversation with a prospect, What conversation are you having with the person? You don't know that now. Your own unique perspective of that product. Bottom line, there is a lot of requirements for becoming a true salesperson. But once you become it, life is sweet. Salesmanship should be like a 5-year course. Real estate consulting should be like a 5-year course in the university. Meaning that you should behave as if you want to take a 5-year course. Someone said that if you dedicate 1 hour per day to mastering any profession, by 5 years you are going to become an expert. Just 1 hour per day. Meaning that if I dedicate 5 hours per day, in less than a year I can become an expert. That's what it means. If I dedicate 2 hours per day, it means that in 2.5 years I can become an expert at that thing. Without breaking transmission, though. Not that I dedicate 2.5 hours a day and then tomorrow I don't do anything. Next tomorrow I don't do anything. When we talk about mastery, who knows the number of mastery? Because see, what you are selling as a salesperson is mastery. What you're selling as a salesperson is mastery. Are you aware? The number of mastery. $10,000 hours for you to become a master salesperson, for you to become a master realtor. You should have dedicated up to 10,000 hours. Am I scaring you? You break it down. 10,000 divided by 365 days. Please, somebody should punch in into their calculator. 10,000 divided by 365 days. Punch. You have calculator on your phone. What? That is 37.4. Okay, 27.4 hours. That is more than 1 day. So it's not possible, right? It's not possible to achieve mastery in 1 year. That's what it means. 10,000 divided by 730. That's 2 years. Please punch it. 13.7 hours. So if you want to gain mastery over a profession in 2 years, you need to dedicate 13.7 hours per day, non-stop, for 2 years. Let's do 10,000 divided by 1,460. That's 4 years. 6.8. 6.8 hours. So if you want to become a master at something in 4 years, you need 6.8 hours per day. You need to dedicate 6.8 hours per day to mastering that thing. And in 4 years, you are a master. You know, I talked about sales simplicity, right? I like to simplify everything. Because most people don't know how to simplify things. They would overcomplicate 1 year and simplify 10 years. They say in 10 years, I want to be a millionaire. And they do nothing in 1 year. They do nothing this year, they do nothing next year, they do nothing the following year, and the 10 years is here. They are still trapped in the same rut. Right? What happened? No. Who is the person in No sales plan. The next thing on the slide is sales skill versus people skill. You can't afford to be a salesperson who is only treating people like their statistics, mere statistics. They will see it in your communication with them. They will see that you are only interested in that commission. They can see it. And once they perceive that from you, trust me, they're not buying from you. People skill has to do with genuinely caring about your prospect. Genuinely caring about your prospect. Don't worry. Okay, this is where we're still at. Okay. Okay, I thought I moved to. What was that? Oh, okay. Okay, strive to become an authority. So I talked about that. I talked about product knowledge. Then, mastering advertising, prospecting, marketing, selling, and closing. They are all different skills. Prospecting is a skill. Advertising is a skill. Marketing is a skill. Selling is a skill. Closing is a skill. Now, sales simplification has to do with learning. See, don't let any sales coach complicate sales for you. By yourself, learn not to complicate sales. If you complicate it, then you are delaying the day you are going to make sales. Sales is not a miracle. I've met a lot of realtors. I ask them, "Oh, what are you doing? How far?" I'm hoping to make a sale. That's what they'll tell you. Hope is not a strategy. There is no such thing as I'm hoping to make a sale. Anyone can master selling. Now, when we talk about the psychology of salesmanship, the first important thing you should pay attention to is sales consciousness. Like they say, a soldier is always a soldier, even if he retires. He remains a soldier. Sales consciousness means that you wake up as a salesperson. You're first a salesperson before you're a human being. That's sales consciousness. You go to bed as a salesperson. You wake up as a salesperson. Until that becomes your functional working psychology, it's going to be very possible for entertainers to get your attention. Do you know how many entertainers we have in Nigeria? You will have spent 16 hours or 18 hours in a day consuming content from entertainers, and you have not talked to one person about it. But you see, if you are proactive about cultivating sales consciousness, the moment you stumble upon anything that's not tantamount to sales activity, you have to have it. Come on. Whether the person is a celebrity or not, because you are proactively cultivating sales consciousness. Without sales consciousness, you are going to be a struggling salesperson. Now, when we talk about sales consciousness, I said earlier that the psychology of selling is 80% the requirement for becoming a salesperson. That is what powers it. Sales consciousness is what powers the psychology of selling. I'm a salesperson. I'm going on social media because I want to make sales. I'm going on social media because I want to prospect for new people. I want to market to people who are already following me. I want to advertise to the people who are already following me. I'm a salesperson. Sales consciousness. 80% psychology. 80% sales psychology is what powers your sales. And 20% is all the other activities. Once you have been able to conquer sales first, psychologically, it becomes easy for you to make sales. But if you are still trapped in that psychology of poverty, it will be difficult. So self-consciousness is one of the ways you combat this psychology of poverty. Because most people were raised in poverty. And now they are salespeople. They are struggling because they are yet to uninstall that programming of poverty. See, wealthy people can smell poverty mindset a mile away. They can. They can see it in your facial expression. I'm telling you. So see, uninstalling that mindset is real work, is real activity that you have. You sit down with yourself. I talked about life audit the other day. You have to do a life audit. If you grew up in an environment of poverty, the first decade of your life, childhood was lived in poverty. The second decade, poverty. See, it's difficult, except you are intentional about uninstalling that mindset. It's difficult. It's difficult for you to uninstall the poverty mindset. But it's doable, it's possible. And one of the things you do, for instance, I tell realtors who maybe live in a poverty environment, a poor neighborhood, one of the things you do is visit Banana Island, visit Lekki Phase 1, visit BGC, visit places that has wealthy infrastructures. That's one of the ways you begin to tell your mindset that I no longer want poverty mindset. But the moment you make a good money, move out of that place. I'm not anti-helping the community. In fact, I've been doing it for like more than a decade. Community projects, I've been doing it. But you see, a drowning man cannot help another drowning man. When you become a multi-millionaire, go back to the neighborhood and help them. But right now, your mental health is at stake. So self-consciousness. Now, when we talk about the psychology of salesmanship, you are cultivating or you are attempting to cultivate value-based relationships with your prospects. This is real estate. This is not Gary. You're not selling Gary. You're not selling phone accessories. You're not selling shoes. You're selling real estate. See, let me brag a little bit. I've met a lot of people who have attended sales trainings of sales coaches. Where those sales coaches, the strategies that they are selling or that they are giving is strategy of people who are selling 5,000 naira products. And you're trying to use that strategy in real estate, it will not work. Because see, if you are selling a 1,000 naira product, to make 1 million naira, you need to sell 1,000 of that unit. But if you are selling 100 million naira product, maybe you need to talk to 20 people. Maybe less. So you see, somebody who is trying to make 1,000 sale of 1,000 naira product, it is not the same working psychology that is required by somebody who is trying to sell a luxury property, a luxury product. For life as a realtor, as a real estate consultant, you are cultivating a value-based relationship with your prospects. You see, realtor, I'm sending you a message just to remind you of that conversation that we had. To come and make that. Don't forget to come and make, who is going to buy from you? See, a realtor is always scheming for value to give to the prospect. The value that the prospect will appreciate as value. So you're not squandering your time watching Mr. Macaroni. That is the prime energy that you should be using to come up with value-based conversation that you're going to have with your prospect. Everybody has a creative endowment. Your right brain is your creative brain. If you engage your right brain, you will come up with creative data, creative content that people will appreciate. Don't forget, I said that salesmanship is about having conversations with people. The more you, the better you get at conversational skill, the more sales you're going to make. It's conversation. No big deal about sales. It's conversation. The question is, what is going to be the quality of my conversational intelligence? And your conversational intelligence is something that you're proactively working on. You're developing your conversational intelligence. You want to become that person that can have an intelligent conversation with a billionaire, and the billionaire will see value in that conversation. The madam is saying, how do you do it? You just ask yourself, what do I know about this prospect? There's something called, I need a doctor, hierarchy of value. Please, I need a doctor. I need something to fill the board. When we talk about value-based relationship, we're talking about the hierarchy of needs. What are the needs of your prospect, including the needs that are not real estate related? What are the needs of your prospect?
FM.
Your job. See, if you know the things I've done for my prospect, you will not believe it. Things that does not have any business, have no business to do with real estate. Because I'm trying to cultivate a value-based relationship with them. Once you learn this, it will change the narrative for you. You are no longer going to be a struggling realtor or a struggling consultant. There's something called buyer avatar, right? Every prospect, you should draw an avatar of your prospect. Are they single? How old are they? Are they married? Where do they live? What do they do? What's their favorite food? Because you want to be able to cultivate a personal relationship with them. It's custom-made relationship. It is on the basis of the data, the peculiar data you're able to extract from them. That is what prospecting entails. It is not one size fits all. Prospect A is different from prospect B. So your job as a salesperson is to get as much intimate data about your prospect as possible. That is the data you're going to use to draw up the buyer avatar. That's the data you're going to use to close them. So as much the birthday of your prospect is next month, you are getting a gift ready for the birthday, even the daughter's birthday. This is what salesmanship is. Salesmanship is not play. You know, like they say, they play. Yes, they play. You need a buyer avatar for every prospect. That is the chunk of your salesmanship. So it's relationship, value-based relationship. Now you must give yourself zero excuse. 2018, I was in debt of more than 4 million. I was embarrassed. I was living in Akure. I was able to pay 2 million out of it between 2018 and 2020. So I was by 2020, I was still owing more than 2 million. One of the guys that was owing 200K dragged me on Twitter. But you see, I'm a salesman. Drag me all you want. I'm still going to make money. Because I gave some people will have committed suicide. I was arrested like 3 times by people I was owing between 2018 and 2020. I was in the cell, the police cell, from morning to night. In the evening, they now release me. Somebody else will have become depressed. Sorry, I'm a salesman. I will figure it out. That's my mantra. I don't know exactly how right now, but I have a brain. I have a creative mind. I know people. I can know more people. I'll figure it out. So zero excuse. You live with zero excuses. Don't say, oh, I came from poverty. Or don't say, I don't have anybody. What do you mean you don't have anybody? I lost my mom when I was 1. I lost my dad when I was 7. Even your mother, you got to know your mother one day. Your mother got to know you one day. The mantra of salesmanship is, I can know anybody. Now, let me just quickly do a map for you. There is the hierarchy, the economic hierarchy of the marketplace. Just see, I like to always simplify sales. I like to break it down as if I'm trying to explain to a 6-year-old. Economic hierarchy of what did I call it? No. Of the marketplace. Marketplace. When we talk about the target market for real estate, only 20% of the population can afford real estate. Now, when we talk about luxury real estate, only 0.1% can afford real estate. As a realtor, your focus is on the top 20%. I've seen realtors who are trying to convince brokers to buy real estate. What are you doing? Somebody that is broke. How many of us have done contact evaluation? The contact evaluation I introduced you to last week. See, if you have not done your contact evaluation, you are cheating yourself. Because right now, I can tell you there's one person that can buy a 10 million naira property on your list, on your contact right now. But you don't know. Because you've not done contact evaluation. Out of these 20% are diasporans. See, 60% of diasporans, Nigerians in diaspora, can afford to buy real estate today. Do you know that I've educated a lot of that Nigerians in diaspora on how to take advantage of credit in the country they are living in. They did not know they were living in that country. They didn't know that they could access up to $100,000 by virtue of working with a particular reputable company in that country. You know? So this economic hierarchy should be your focus. The top 20%, the poorest person among the top 20% makes at least $1 million per annum. Somebody that's making $1 million per annum, maybe the person can save 300,000 naira within that 1 year, right? To do what? To do real estate cooperative. Or to do cash back. So I'm saying that the poorest amongst them makes $1 million per annum. So you see, it is not even all the 20% that is your ideal customer. Depending on the product you're selling. What makes a person a poor person? The person is poor because they are unable to make up to 100,000 naira per annum. No, we know the mindset. I'm talking economics now. You are poor because you are not making up to 100,000 naira per annum. per annum. You are struggling. You are a struggler because you are making less than a 1 million naira per annum. You are okay if you make between a 1 million naira and 10 million naira per annum. You're okay. You're just okay. You are comfortable if you make between 10 million naira and 30 million naira per annum. You are rich if you make between 30 million naira and 100 million naira per annum. You are wealthy if you make between 100 million naira and 500 million naira per annum. And you're a billionaire if you make up to a billion naira per annum. So if you don't break it down like this, you will not identify the broke ass when you see them. Real estate. Real estate requires a lot of psychological sagacity. I've told you that rich people can identify a poor person in mind. If you like, wear blazer suits. Because after you convince them with your blazer suit, next thing they want to listen to is your mindset. Open your mouth and you remove all doubts. Now, the next thing under the psychology of salesmanship is the algorithm. The algorithm that powers sales success. I said earlier that sales is not a miracle. Selling is a science that you need to master. See, it was real estate that opened my eyes to sales. And I started my entrepreneurial journey since undergraduate, 2006. I came into real estate 2019. 2006, 2019. 13 years, I was not doing anything proactively about mastering sales. Even though I was in automobile, as an undergraduate, I was selling cars. But you see, I was only doing it because, number one, I had big dreams, but I didn't have the understanding of sales as a science that can transform my life. I did it until I came into real estate in 2019. So see, there is the algorithm for powering sales. And one of the major components of the algorithm for powering sales success is your goal, your mathematically calculated goal setting. Your mathematically calculated goal setting. And all the tools I talked about, the tools for mastering the craft of salesmanship. Right? So I've talked about sales skills and people skills. Your prospects are not statistics. They are flesh and blood. Most especially since you are talking to people who want to buy a product of 10 million, 20 million, 50 million. They care about how unfortunately, let the poor breathe. The dress set, a smartphone, and a car. You know, in real estate, if you sell, you get that. I mean, on top of that, you even still get trip, trip incentive, car incentive. But you should set your goal as if you want to buy your car yourself. So you are putting pressure on yourself. It is better for you to be the one putting pressure on yourself than an outsider putting pressure on you. Branding is a psychological colonization of the marketplace. Branding is one of the master keys for penetrating the marketplace. It is how you differentiate yourself from other players in the industry. You want to register your presence in that industry. Branding is one of the most important tools for doing that. When we talk about brand, we're talking about what people think about you as a salesperson. You know, when I met a lot of salespeople say, I don't care what people think. You are joking. You are joking. A salesperson must care about what people think about him or her. It is social currency. And you must design the architecture of your brand in such a way that people will say nice things about your brand. Because branding is how you penetrate the marketplace. The taxi company have been existing for decades. Uber came to disrupt it in less than 7 years. Now you are seeing everybody, Bolt, Rider, InDrive, because Uber paved the way. Right? Personal branding starts with your mind. The mental image before your brand identity. What do you think about yourself? You know, we now live in an age of fakeism. They say fake it till you make it. No, see, if you're in a rat race, even if you win, you are still a rat. There is no such thing as fake it till you make it. Be authentic from the very beginning. If you are projecting yourself on social media as something, and in your own mind, you are a broke ass, your brand can never go anywhere. Because see, a poverty mindset is a scarcity mindset. And if you're operating with a scarcity mindset, you are not going to have the evergreen data. You're not going to be able to access the evergreen data for cultivating your path to wealth. If you're trying to fake it, don't mind all those coaches that will tell you, don't fake nothing. Be your authentic self. But you see, be committed to becoming a better version of yourself. It's scanning, continuous and never-ending improvements. For as long as I'm committed to improving myself, I will become a force to be reckoned with in my industry. But if I'm faking it, I will not be genuinely committed to improving myself. If you dress up a madman, you're still a madman. Dress up a madman with a piece of apparel that costed 1 million naira, still a madman, a well-dressed madman. That's what people do. They decorate their garbage. Instead of weeding themselves of those garbage, they want to decorate it. And that's the definition of mediocrity. Well-decorated garbage. Right? So personal branding starts with your mind. The requirement for mind evaluation and mind mental upgrade is knowledge. First, knowledge. Second, the quality of people that you hang out with the most. You've heard it several times. Average of the top 5 people you hang out with the most. The mind is fluid. It takes the form of whatever container you place it in. So because of that fluidity, because of that neuroplasticity of the mind, the moment you start hanging out with the right people, you start becoming the right person yourself. The moment you start hanging out with the correct people, you start becoming the correct person yourself. Because their mindset will rub off on you. Right? So you have to look at your mental labels. You know, what is the occupation of your mind? What constitutes the content of your mind? What do you think about when your guards are let down? You know, when you come to the public domain, you want to pretend that you're something you're not. A lot of people want to pretend. But when you're by yourself, what are the thoughts that go through your mind? Are you thinking about porn? Are you thinking about your 5 girlfriends or your 4 sugar daddies? Is that what you're thinking in your privacy? Check your mental level. Because see, or you think in your privacy, you find its way to the public domain somehow. Because see, psychology is a program. What you're programming yourself with, the data you're programming yourself with in your privacy. Michael Jackson used to rehearse 16 hours every day. 16 hours. So that when he steps on stage, it's an autopilot. It's overflow of that rehearsal. Rihanna, Beyonce, they rehearse 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. So that when they get on the stage, it's overflow of the rehearsal. So the programming in your privacy will find its way to the public domain. One way or another. You can't hide it. If somebody is in pain, I can know, even if the person is very major, I'll look at your eyeball. I'll see pain in your eyes. You can't mask it. It's the same thing with psychology of sales, psychology of selling. You are programming yourself into a salesperson in your privacy. Do you know that you do rehearsals? You rehearse how you're going to talk with your prospects. You record yourself. You put a camera in front of you and you're talking to the camera as if you're talking to the prospect. And you look at what you said. You're like, I have to free myself. So the more rehearsals you do, the better you become in the public domain. The better you become as a salesperson. Now, marketing is what you do. Branding is what you are. You are the brand. You do marketing. You are the brand. So that's the fundamental difference between marketing and branding. You do marketing. Marketing is what you do. Branding is who you are or what you are. Meaning that when I talk about personal investment on that goal setting, calculation of goal setting, you are investing in becoming a better brand, a more attractive brand, a more magnetic brand. You learn the rudiment from those who have gone ahead of you. You watch them, you understand them, you ask them questions. How did you start? What were the mistakes you made? What were your struggles at the initial stage? What did you do? Pretty important. See, you have to be committed to really building your brand. Like I said about psychology of sales, 80% psychology is the requirement for sales. Now, in the psychology of sales, what constitutes the psychology of sales? Like 60 to 80% of psychology of sales is branding. So you can't be saying, I don't care what people say. Get out of sales. You want to become a sales servant. Go and work, even if you want to work in the personal. I've said it before. Everybody, even a civil servant, you are a personal brand. You are still a personal brand. So you can't even escape it. So you have actually acquire the information for building your personal brand. So I said, for you to be taken seriously as a salesperson, you have to have a relatable brand. Have a DP on all my social media platforms, including my WhatsApp. Everybody that sees my DP, don't come to fall in love because of my DP, because of my picture. And I've been using that DP since 2021 or 2020. I've not changed it. Because it has become the brand, it has become part of my brand. That picture, you see people changing their DP every week. You don't know what branding is. Branding is serious business. That picture, I'm going to leave it till 2030. 2030, I'll come up with another picture. That will be an upgraded version of that picture. But people will have known me with that picture. Because see, when people stumble upon your account, the first thing is your picture before your name. Social media, Facebook, Instagram. The picture is what they see first. And that subtle programming is already working. The moment they stumble upon your picture and it's a beautiful picture, first impression lasts long. The moment they stumble upon your account and it's a terrible picture, first impression lasts long. When next week, we're going to be delving into social media marketing because we're delving into marketing. We're going to start with social media marketing. So I'll give you all the 9 pillars of social media marketing. So for you to be taken seriously as a person, you have to be building a relatable brand. And no business succeeds by accident. When you meet certain supposed successful people and you ask them, what is the secret? They say that God, run away from them. There are breakthroughs you don't want to expose it to now. It is not injustice. And keep thinking that going to the mountain is what's going to make it successful. I know many people, mountain goers, who even achieved some kind of success at some point. Now they've lost it. Because see, it is much more difficult to sustain success than to acquire it. But you see, if you have the universal principle, if you understand the universal principle for creating success, it is the same principle you're going to use to sustain it. Donald Trump declared bankruptcy over $3 billion at one point. Because he knows how to make the billions, he made it back. But if it's a fluke, that's why you see some people, you know them, when you were growing up, you were rich. Now, 20 years they've been poor. They've not been able to bounce back because they don't have the recipe. They don't have the recipe for success. Maybe, their family member became a commissioner or a governor. So they put them in some position. They were now getting free money. And a mediocre mind behaving them. Honorable. The honorable is broke. Because his family member has been kicked out of office. So understand that these things are universal principles. What happened? Or was it me that pressed? Daily routine is the last slide before question and answer. Who's going to check it? Okay. So daily routines of the salesperson. There's a book by, I think I read that book, 2014 or 2013, by John C. Maxwell. How to have a great day. That's the title. How to have a great day. Remember I said in the last class that success is a daily endeavor. You don't achieve success in a year. You don't achieve success in a month. You don't achieve success in a week. You achieve success daily. That quarterly incentive that they are giving you is because we're doing some things every day that led to it. Go and meet all the high performing people. They have something they're doing every single day. It's not fluke. It compounded. The daily sales activities compounded into that success that you're seeing. That big success, that celebratable success. That's something that they one day. Nobody wants to celebrate it, right? Because it looks like it's small. Nobody even knows that you achieve any success. But when you accumulate daily success, it becomes a celebratable success. So the secret to becoming a high-performing realtor, a high-performing real estate consultant, is in your daily routines. Your daily routines. You have a new day. You wake up in a new day. There will always be a new day you wake up. The question every time is, how am I using my day? People have become puppets of social media. Mr. Blog Niger, Harry, Sunday Nuts, Mr. Macaroni, Aoma, just too funny, Sabanos. You know all their names. Whiskey. The Vito. Don't follow them. I know them. I'm a Nigerian. Whether you're following them, you see those bloggers, they just support. There's no way you will know them. But for you to be following them, you are not a serious person. It's not that. Why are you following them? Why? Okay, you do audience, you have to give them how much? You're just wandering your resource. You are a salesperson. You are in the most transformative profession in the world. But you see, even though sales has made millionaires and billionaires, you can be in the same sales and be broke. Because all the millionaires in sales, they invested in a structure. They invested in a brand. Determine how many hours you will invest in your salesmanship day. There are 160, there are 24 hours in a day, 16 hours away time, 8 hours for sleeping, 16 hours away time per day, 168 hours a week, 56 hours for sleeping a week, 112 hours away time per week. How much of the 112 hours are you going to be dedicating to your salesmanship? 112 hours per week, 448 hours per month. How much of the 448 hours per month will go into real sales activities? You know how people deceive themselves. Alpha, what's happening? I'm hoping to make sales. How? By watching Mr. Macaroni. By watching Netflix. So, the 448 hours a week, you have to schedule how you are going to use that 448 hours. What proportion of it? Yes, you cannot use all the 448 hours. Otherwise, you just break them. So, are you deciding to use 6 hours per day for sales, hardcore sales activities? Are you deciding to use, even if it's 2 hours, consistently using 2 hours every day on sales activities, you will produce results in 1 month? I want for 3 hours, or 4 hours, or 6 hours. But you see, a lot of people's brain have been wired for mediocrity. Watching whiskey is mediocrity. Most especially during the waking hours. Your most important work of the day will be done from the time you wake up and 12 noon. If you are watching this vlog Nigeria by 10 a.m., you are not serious. You're not a serious salesperson. If you are watching Netflix by 9 a.m., you are not serious. If you are watching Sunday Nuts by 11 a.m., you are not serious as a salesperson. Your most important work as a salesperson will be done from the time you wake up and 12 noon. Meaning that it is work mode all the way to 12 noon at least. And then if it's not the work mode, then what constitutes that work? What are you doing specifically? What are the tasks? Specific tasks you're going to be doing from the time you wake up at 12 noon. Because that's the time you have prime energy. The moment the sun is up, wait till the next day. Some people, they will squander their prime energy on entertainment. Then you'll not be using useless energy for sales. You'll be using exhausted energy. You don't know that intelligence requires prime energy. As many times that you were talking to someone, you like know yourself, you know how intelligent you are, and you are sounding like a fool. And it's looking like you can't help it. It's because you have been squandering your prime energy. You wake up with prime energy. Don't be thinking about, I've told salespeople, don't be thinking about food when you wake up in the morning. The moment you're thinking about food when you wake up in the morning, you're not a salesperson. Walk first. When you don't walk, I can't go. Okay, what's in the talk? Okay, the glycogen, anytime you eat any food, it stores part of it as glycogen. So anytime you wake up, as there have been times that you went to bed without food and you woke up and you were feeling like you were that's glycogen converted to glucose. You were hungry before you went to bed. You wake up, you woke, and some people say, oh, angel, God said angels come and feed you. No problem. If that is their blood, no problem. Glycogen. So when you wake up in the morning, you wake up with prime energy. When you eat on top of prime energy, you are distorting that prime energy. You have to wait till the next day. Or take a nap. Because sleep is the instrument for cultivating prime energy, for distilling prime energy rather. So when you wake up in the morning, you have energy, prime energy to come up with those finest contents. But you have squandered that energy with eba and egusi soup. Walk first. That's the mantra of the salesperson. I wake up to walk. Sometimes 5, sometimes 5, sometimes 6. But a lot of times, lately, I've been waking up 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Anytime I go to bed before 10, my eye will wake up at 2 a.m. So a lot of times I try not to go to bed at 10. Today, I woke up, I checked the time, it was 2:16 a.m. Because I went to bed around 10. So the time how many hours and the discipline enough. You know, I meet realtors who are operating in the mindset of I'm my own boss, no problem. Nobody is tracking your time. Just make sure that you're actually making money. Because the only way you're going to make money is when you put in the work. Isn't that funny? You say, no, sack your boss. Don't worry, your boss is only collecting 8 hours from you. Entrepreneurship will collect 12 to 16 hours per day from you. Just be ready. So you're saying, I'm my own boss. Okay? I hope you're not this. I hope you're not account for this. Like somebody said last week. So you have to determine how many hours. It's going to be 6 hours per day. Trust me, 6 hours to work on that. 6 hours. See, they say people's attention span. What did you work? Why?
Because number one, you are jumping from one app to another. On the same app, you are distracted by different accounts. So your attention span is less than most people cannot sit down and pay attention to something for 5 minutes straight. Only 5 minutes. Should we try it? Should we experiment? By the time it's 3 minutes, their eyes are already getting heavy. Because they have not been cultivating concentration. Concentration is something you cultivate. You wake up in the morning, you sit down in front of your door, and you focus on your door for 5 minutes. 5 minutes concentration exercise per day will help you master your attention span in the course of the day. Just 5 minutes. Because you need to be focused on what you need to be focused on. But because there's so much distraction, and because the tools of this age, this social media age, has rendered a lot of people useless themselves. It is when it is 2 weeks to house rent. House rent. How are you doing all these 12 months? Your wife has been pregnant for 9 months. She's not prepared. It is now that it's about to deliver that you're now calling your brother. You're not serious. So the sandwiches hours, a salesperson must become an executive. An executive is someone who is able to be in control of their work hours. So the degree of your being an executive is to how many hours per day you are in control of. Most people are not in control of their hours. It is social media celebrities that control their hours. Once they are going into social media, shows them macaroni, they watch. Show them today not the watch. Show them Yamale, the watch. Show them this lover, the watch. Puppet of social media. They are robots. Yeah, this one day now. Puppet, you are not the one in control. You said you wanted to post that property. 4 hours, 6 hours, you have been on social media. Because this time macaroni don't get it. No, survival don't get you. Basket now don't get you. The people and whiskey don't get you. Powerboy don't get you. So an executive is someone who is in control of their wait time. They are doing the things that they said they were going to do that day. That's what makes you an executive. A CEO, a candidate of a position of a CEO is an executive who have demonstrated a track record of controlling at least 10 hours of their wait time. That's a candidate of a position of a CEO. Every salesperson should have a workstation. Even if they're living in a room, set a corner, put a table and chair. That's your office. Where you resume to. That these 6 hours, I'm going to spend it in my workstation. I'm not getting up until I've done the things I said I'm going to do for those 6 hours. I tell you the 6 hours. But folks who are not proactively started learning how to become an executive, they don't understand this thing. You are a sales executive. And what makes you a sales executive is that you are able to deploy at least 6 hours sales activity every single day. At least 6 hours. You're not an executive if you are doing 4 hours. You're not an executive. It's at least 6 hours per day. Right? So a salesperson must become an executive. And you need to learn to start your day early. The earlier you start your day, the better. The higher the chances of achieving your goal for the day. The most important work of the day will be done from the time you wake up and 12 noon. Once you miss it, wait till the next day. going to the next. So, you have to start. All those talk of, I'm a night owl. I used to say it. In all those artificial introductions, late night movie, late night news, late night show, 24 hours cable TV. Why you have to be sleeping? So you are more intelligent than Mother Nature. Anything that requires you to watch it beyond 8 p.m., it is not important. You tell yourself as a salesperson, that thing is not important. And a salesperson cannot be watching motion pictures. You tell yourself as a salesperson, I only have 1 hour to watch anything I want to watch any day. 1 hour per day. And you set your alarm. Because see, salesmanship requires a lot of activity. Become a millionaire. Go and watch anything you want to watch. But you tell yourself, I'm not a millionaire yet. I need to become a millionaire first. Don't be person in the world without TV. Can't they watch you too? To start a bit early. Then also you allot the sales activities for the day. What are you doing by 5 a.m.? What are you doing by 6 a.m.? What are you doing by 7 a.m.? If a particular task will take like 2 hours, let's say between 8 and 10, then you put it there. Between 8 and 10, I'm doing this. And remember I told you about the 1 hour timer activity, where I said you should set alarm, an hour alarm. If your awake time is between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m. And from that 5 a.m. and 10 p.m., your business activity is between 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. Set 1 hour alarm time from 6 a.m. 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. That's 9 hours. Let an alarm ring every hour. Just in case Mr. Macaroni don't get you. That alarm can remind you. And bros, you get what? You have squandered 1 hour. Oh yeah, part of. Right? Then keep track of your daily progress. At the end of every day, do a review of your day. That's when you can say, and because you've written everything you wanted to do that day, out of maybe 7 things, you only did 1. If you don't do a review, you will repeat it again the next day. Because you'll be like, so they don't go with that. So it will let you understand that, man, I need to be on my self-activity game. I cannot allow anything to squander my resources, my time resource, my energy resource. I can't allow it. I'm the caretaker of my life. And it is the natural endowments that was born with that I can use to marshal my path to success. My energy and my time are part of those natural endowments. So if I am allowing myself, giving another human being the permission to use me to use my resources, then it's on me. So this is where we get to question and answer. Any questions? The things I talk about are not conventional. So, right. It is our first time. Please, I think everybody would like to hear you. All right, so my name is Mr. I'm an entertainer, a program. Can I use my personal, let's say, social media to market business? Yes, no. Your personal social media handle is building your personal brand is to also infuse your craft in it. So instead of posting every single day your personal brand, it can be once a week about your craft, about real estate. Whilst you are posting every day on the dedicated account to real estate. So you can post on there and share it to your personal account. And really beef up your activity on that corporate account because it's new. Start sending the link to people. I just came into real estate. I just became a certified real estate consultant. Always say that. I just became a certified, if you're new, I just became a certified real estate consultant. And we have an account. We have a real estate account that we just created, my team and I. And I would like you to follow that account. For your personal brand account, your personal account is for your personal branding. Because your personal brand is what powers any other thing you are doing. So you have to be very, very strategic. Don't litter your personal brand with real estate properties. You don't think I'm serious. So you have to be strategic about it. So you create another account for real estate. Whilst you can share, for instance, on Instagram, you can share your post on your stories on your personal account. On Facebook, you can share your real estate account on your personal account. But don't always do it. For instance, maybe you want to post 3 times a day. That means after 3 days, you made 9 posts. Don't share all the 9 posts every time you post. No. Out of the 9, maybe 2 strategic ones are the ones you share to your personal account. Because you want to get them to start going to your account. If you share everything, so what's the point of them going to your account? So just share the one that you feel that this one is very, very instructional content or something. Share it, and then give them a CTA. Please follow my account. Follow my real estate account. So, but you will use your personal account for prospecting. Start talking to people about it, one-on-one, right? In their comment section. We'll talk about social media marketing next month, so you will understand more of what I'm saying. We'll do practical. Right. Yeah. You can see that if they can hear you. You can see that.
My name is Latif. This is the first time I'm
Beautiful. Beautiful.
From the first time we started, we always say follow Mr. Macaroni, all this and that. But over time, because I don't follow those people,
Okay.
but I read news a lot on my phone.
Okay.
So I've got to one or twice, I've got to see advertising their products
Under the comment section.
of those people, and they get sales. You see that it's so bad for people to follow.
No, it's not bad. If you're able to do your sales activity and you have the discipline. But you see, I know a lot of people who don't have the social media intelligence. Because once in a while I comment on the post as well. Who don't have social media intelligence, where they are arguing in those comments. Maybe it's religious argument or political argument. Because once you make that an argument, you are destroying your brand. So the first thing is you want to build your own personal account, your personal brand on social media. And if you think that building your personal brand is by leveraging the account of celebrities, try it and see what kind of results it will give you. If you say they are selling, be sure that they are actually selling. Be sure that they are actually selling. So if the reason I need you to unfollow them is because they will colonize your space. You need the space for people who can buy from you. Mr. Macaroni cannot buy from you. This blogger cannot buy from you. And most people following this blogger will most likely not buy from you. Because they are following this blogger because of the gossip. Multi-billionaires are not following gossip. Multi-millionaires are not following gossip. So yeah, it's not like maybe you cannot follow them. But you see, follow them from a standpoint of authority. Where your comments will draw attention. you have 25 followers. Instead of it to be focused on building your own followers first, you want to follow celebrities. At least get it to 200, 300, 400 followers first, organically. Then by the time, and then have correct content. Where do you have the time to be following social celebrities? When you have content to create. Content that is valuable. Anybody that stumbles upon your account, they will get value from that content. That's where I am on social media. There is no content I post on social media that you don't get value from. That's a deliberate thing. So you need time to build your own account. You need time to build your own brand. So you need to dedicate time to doing that. Once you have built it to a certain degree, and you now have the social media marketing discipline, because you need discipline on social media for you not to be distracted, for you not to be drawn into that quicksand of distraction. You need discipline. And if you're not proactively following, if you're not proactively following, I used to follow all these people myself. And anytime I come on social media, it is also their post. Next 300 posts, it is stupid celebrities post. Who cannot buy product from me? I need to be seeing a post of people who can buy product from me. That's the essence. We'll talk about the algorithm timeline. When you go on social media now, I call it algorithmic audit. When you go on social media now, the top 50 people that you see, ask yourself, as you're seeing this person, can this person buy real estate from me? Yes or no? Next person, can this person buy real estate from me? Yes or no? You will know the kind of people that are showing up on your timeline. So it's not bad to follow them, but I'm saying that if it does not enhance your productivity as a salesperson, you are following them. Question. But
Here we are having like you say something that in your life there was a time you worked for 7 years, up to 4 million. So what was your turning point?
real estate. The first one was, I started my first company in 2014. It was a training company, a management company, training. And 2014 January, I started that. Sorry. And then by December 2017, I was in debt. So I started that by December 2017. Then I started a digital marketing company in 2018. In April. So from April 2018 to from April 2018 to July 2018, I ran that company. I was able to make like 3.5 million in total in that duration. And from that 3.5 million, I was able to pay 2 million of my debt. So I was still owing 2 million plus. But 2019, I had been introduced to real estate. So I've been coming to Lagos. I was living in Akure. Every now and then I'll come to Lagos for a seminar, whatever, a training. Because from the beginning, I was a trainer, a digital trainer. BRG invited me then to come and train realtors on digital marketing, social media marketing, right? And so, by virtue of that, I started picking interest in real estate. So I've been coming back and forth, 2019. Then early 2020, I came back and forth. Then my fiance and I just said, let me relocate to Lagos. Then July, I relocated to Lagos. In less than 9 months of my relocating, I was able to pay my 2 million naira plus debt because of real estate. So real estate is my turning point. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that when I came into real estate, when I first came in 2019, I was still forming digital entrepreneur. Digital entrepreneur that will struggle to make 100K, 200K. Because I was still relating with real estate like a side hustle. Until 2020, I decided that I'm going to go full in. So when I went full in, early 2020, I came to Lagos. I took some people for inspection, even though they did not buy at that time. Then July, I realized that I cannot be in Akure and be successfully doing business in Lagos. It's not doing real estate in Lagos. That was what led me to relocating in July 2020. And by March 2021, my birthday had paid all my debts. So it's pretty. So that was the turning point to answer your question. And it was because I went fully in. Yes, I can have other side hustles, but real estate cannot be a side hustle. How you define a side hustle is the number of hours you dedicate to it per day. If I'm dedicating 6-8 hours to real estate, it cannot be a side hustle. So I have 16-hour awake time. I dedicate 6 to 8 hours to real estate. I can still dedicate some few hours to digital marketing, social media marketing, which was what I was doing. Because in real estate, you need something else that generates money for you. Otherwise, you would cry. You need another source of income. You need another source. So you need to figure out something that you can do that it won't take you more than 2-3 hours per day that can earn you like 5,000-10,000 naira per day. You figure it out. Even if it's 2,000 naira per day, still something. You'll be able to buy 1K airtime to make calls. So you have to figure that out. You definitely have to figure it out. But you cannot make real estate a side hustle. Otherwise, forget it. You are not going to produce uncommon results. Next question, please. Next question.
Well, let me say this first before. I'm actually not asking the question. I want to say
Yes, you don't know students in class back then. It's coming there.
I want to commend you for a lot of things that you have done. I want to give you now, he said something that actually struck me, which was, let me check. Value-based relationship. I can tell you that this is one major tool that has helped me to this level that I have now. The number one thing that happened was I met a client in 2021. I met him online.
Listen. This is part of the class.
So I met him online, and unfortunately for him, he has actually bought the product from a consultant before. So somehow, he saw that I was selling the same thing. So he started me up, and then he was trying to find out about the product. So I told him the whole truth. So, after that, I said, "Are you sure this is the information about this product?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Wow, that means this person is lying to me." That way, he now came out and now said, he has actually bought from the same place, and this was the information. So, along the line, I was able to calm him. He said he wanted to get away from us. I said, "No, you don't do that. I'm sure I'll find a way to help you out." The first thing I actually did was to help him out of that issue of communication that he was facing with the other person. Don't forget, I wasn't the person that brought the product in, but I was trying to render a help. Over time, 2002, I'm not so, but still time. Someone will come and say, something about that. Even despite the fact that I'm not patronizing, anytime I call or ask for something, they're always there. This year, in sales was the first sales ever. And he brought 2 other clients. So I can tell you that relationship in business is very key. Don't first chase, don't get that impression that what you are looking for is the connection you get. The first thing you should try to do is to sell yourself and also be sincere as very much as possible. And try to create a very good relationship with them.
Thank you. Right.
My name is John. I got this my first interview. So, marketing, digital marketing. So what happens to those that are used to the traditional way of doing things? The old school people continue using it.
But this is, you know, I'll respond. When it comes to marketing, dynamic marketing is what I have to give. Traditional marketing, social media marketing, digital marketing. The more, the merrier. I know people who command hundreds of millions of sales per month, and they are mostly leveraging their offline networks. The bottom line is for you to make sales. There are many jobless digital marketers who are paying to digital marketers. They can't remember the last time they made 400,000 naira, let alone 1 million. The bottom line is the medium that you know how to operate in that can make sense. But you see, social media is very easy to learn. The reason for social media is because, most especially TikTok, I keep saying it, something you can post right now, and somebody will do it for you. How do you want to do that with traditional marketing? You can post right now, and 3 minutes later, somebody in the UK will see that post. So when it comes to sales management, it is commitment to improvement, developing yourself, commitment to capacity development. So social media, that maybe you are born in a social media age, does not. I know someone joined my live on TikTok a few weeks ago. She's Jamaican. She's a 75-year-old woman.